I feel like over the years, I've spent enough money on my wardrobe to know where is worth spending and where isn't. And having just gotten through the winter season, of course, my cold weather wardrobe is fresh in my mind. And at this point, I know exactly where I like to spend and where I like to save. And so I thought today we could hone in on the winter essentials that I personally think are worth splurging on, allocating a little bit more of your shopping budget towards. And I have actually done a whole autumn capsule video, which I will link up in the cards in case you'd like to go and watch that one next. So the very first one has to be a solid winter coat. Now, I personally like ones that are 100% wool, just as I feel like if we can, going for that natural fiber, it is going to last longer, it's going to wear better, and it's also going to feel a little bit more luxurious to wear. And that's definitely something I'm thinking about, especially in the winter time when our outfits are so heavily texture rich, and ways that we can reduce that without necessarily resorting to synthetics. So I have a few coats here that I thought I would show you from my own wardrobe, but for each of these 7 key essentials, I am going to share with you some outfit inspiration as well, so you come away from this video with some styling ideas too. So first up, we've got this little cropped wool coat, which is in a beautiful chocolate brown, and definitely don't be afraid to look at neutrals that aren't black or grey or navy. I think that's where we can really add some extra depth into our outfits. This feels really modern yet minimal, and it's also lined as well. And while I don't think that lining is a must-have, it really depends on the style of jacket, which I'll get to in a minute. I think it is a nice added touch and it adds to the insulating element of the piece. The next one I have is a slightly shorter one. So this is a double-faced wool, and double-faced wool coats do not need to be lined. They should feel really comfortable against your skin, not scratchy at all, but also insulating and warm. And this has a bit more length to it, but a very classic cut. And you'll see that there is a bit of a theme here with the 3 outerwear pieces I want to share. They're all styles that are not trend-led, so they'll take you through the years, and when we are spending a bit more, that definitely should be the focus. Is this something I'm going to have in my wardrobe for a long time? And spending more on those pieces, 100% worth it. The final one that I have is a slightly longer style, and this is a very classic cut, a much heavier wool coat. This one is a blend of merino and alpaca. It's really hefty, really heavy, and has this beautiful brushed texture to it, but it just feels so beautiful on the hand, and that's kind of the thing that I'm seeking out as well when I am adding in a really lovely outerwear piece into my wardrobe, and just trying to find one that is 100% natural fibers. It is doable even if you are on more of a budget, but definitely the area where I'm spending more of my money, because our coat is a huge part of our outfit every day, and we're mostly wearing the singular one for the entirety of the season. And a good knitwear, of course, you knew was going to be one that I would say is definitely worth splurging on. And you all know how much I love my sweaters, my knitwear. It is kind of a huge part of my wardrobe. I almost joke that I'm a collector at this point, so I know exactly what to look out for. And this is definitely something that you're going to add to your wardrobe and reach for every year, especially if it is something that is either special to you in some way. Maybe it's the design and the aesthetics, or the fact that it just has a really strong function and purpose in your wardrobe. This part of the video does include a paid integration with LILYSILK, and I'm really excited to share with you my 5 favorite sweaters that I've picked out from their new season collection. LILYSILK is definitely a brand that I think many of us kind of correlate with just silk in general, but I think their knitwear pieces are so underrated, and actually where I've found some of my favorite finds from the brand. They focus really heavily on those premium natural fibers, so think cashmere, really beautiful quality merino wool, and also silk knits, which are undeniably luxurious to wear. It almost feels featherweight against the skin. A great option for those who do live in warmer climates. The silk knit tees that they've done for many years are just phenomenal. So I'm going to run through all of my favorites, and I will be sure to link these down in the description box below so that you can go and check them out for yourself. But just their new season collection in general is stunning, and they do have some really beautiful coats that I spotted while I was browsing just the other night. So the first one I want to highlight here is this lovely oversized crew. So this has a very relaxed fit through the body, and it's in this gorgeous marine blue color, which isn't a solid color. It almost has these lighter flecks to it, which adds a lot of dimension to the sweater itself. One of the details I absolutely adore about this is that it has a doubled over collar. It adds a little bit of heft around the neckline, and to me always just feels a little bit more premium. And I like the fact that also the sleeves are not cuffed, so they have this wider element to them, and then also it's very loose through the body as well. So the composition is 70% wool and 30% cashmere, which gives it this really nice robust quality, allowing it to kind of have a bit of structure and stand on its own while still having that softness, and it feels really beautiful to wear. Oh, and I will have my sizing detailed below as well. My next favorite, I just think that there is some sort of sorcery here because this is 100% cashmere, but it has this lovely fuzzy texture to it. It's a brushed cashmere and it feels as soft as you would think, as it probably looks on camera. It's so fuzzy, but it doesn't shed. And you would think because I am wearing this dark blazer that I would have all of these fibers on me. I don't at all. And that says a lot about the quality because the same can't be said of those fuzzy synthetic blend knits that we've been seeing a lot everywhere, and you know the ones that I'm talking about. This has quite a relaxed fit across the shoulder, so great if you want to kind of add a little bit of width there and a really open neckline. So it sits a little bit lower and wider around the neck. Now this one feels a lot lighter both to wear and to hold in the hand, but it is so cozy and warm, and I wonder if that's got to do with the brushed texture, but a great way to add a really dynamic and interesting tactile quality to an outfit in the winter time. My next pick is this cashmere hoodie, and the thing I loved about this was how wide the rib is. It actually comes with a matching trouser as well, which I think are incredibly chic, and this has a very relaxed sort of a fit to it, has the split side detail. The hood is reasonably generous and you actually can secure it really nicely around the head if you want to go ultra cozy. But this to me just feels like elevated loungewear that you could also wear for every day. I think every single time I put together an edit of anything from LILYSILK, I'm always looking at their cardigans because they do such a beautiful job. One of my favorite ones from them is in merino wool, and it's a crew neck cardigan. This one here has the V-neck, and what I was really drawn to is actually the cable knit yarn because that adds that tactile quality, that textural dimension that I love to bring into my winter outfits. It's a really simple way to just make an outfit feel more visually interesting. And you also have the bonus of the contrasting buttons here. V-neck cardigans and sweaters in general are a really flattering choice for everyone. If you want to minimize the bust, it's great, it draws the eye downwards. If you have a longer torso and you want to shorten it, draws the eye downwards. If you want to wear it taller, draws the eye downwards. They're a great piece to have in your wardrobe, and this one is so unbelievably soft, cozy. It's cashmere, of course. And then my final one, which I took with me to Wellington because I knew it was going to be a really cozy companion on my travels, and I just enjoyed wearing it so much, is this cashmere wrap cardigan. It almost functions like a jacket as it's a really thick and luxurious cashmere. It has rolled hems, which are really beautiful, and I like the way that it looks both worn open and closed. The fact that the belt is also in cashmere, so you have that lovely consistency through the details, and when you do cinch it in at the waist, you get that great waist definition, but also it makes your legs look really long, especially if you're wearing it with a black trouser on bottom. And this one does come in a few other colors as well. There's a really pretty kind of seafoam green on the website that I have my eye on, but stunning. It has a little bit of stretch to it too, which is nice, especially when you're kind of wrapping it across your body. So beautiful. I just don't think you'll ever regret spending a little bit of money on a high quality sweater that is going to last in your wardrobe for years and years, and one that is going to actually be a really nice experience to wear as well. So those were my LILYSILK favorites, and I am going to make sure I link them all plus my sizing in the description box below so that you can go and check them out for yourself. Oh, and slightly unrelated, but I did want to mention that LILYSILK have just recently launched these beautiful silk loafers. So they're silk with a leather heel, which is collapsible, and these are stunning to bridge that gap between loungewear and everyday wear. I mean, beautiful to wear in the home, but also you could wear these to work if you wanted as well. They are just so lovely. I did size up to a 41 in these, so I'll link those below as well. I just wanted to highlight them in case you didn't know that they're branching out beyond just apparel. Now, quite a few of these are accessories, and I thought we'd kind of get the biggest one out of the way, a really solid handbag choice. I'm going to share with you a few of my favorites and the cutaways so you can see, but you'll notice they all have a common thread. They're all a larger bag. The reason being that in the winter time, we often are carrying with us kind of larger, bulkier things. Maybe we want to put our sweater into our bag, or we've got a scarf or gloves, a hat. All of those things need to be able to fit, and I've naturally found myself gravitating towards styles that are more generous. This one here from Songmon actually ended up being my most worn bag of winter for 2025 for anyone curious. But the other common thread that they all have is that there is a point of difference to them. So when I say kind of splurge or spend a bit more on a bag, doesn't mean that it has to be simple or boring or basic. It can have really unique elements to it and make it feel special and aligned with your personal style, something that you want to reach for every single day. The key criteria in my eye is something that is good quality and that is going to last for many, many years and be the bag that you are happy to have on rotation as your core bag for that time and also be practical. I also appreciate when a bag has a lighter lining on the interior, especially if it is a dark bag, because then you can find what you're looking for rather than it feeling like a black hole. So that is kind of one of my accessories must-haves that I will always spend a little bit more on for the winter season. The next winter essential I'm happy to splurge on is a great base layer. So I have a few that are my favorites, but to me these kind of form the foundation of my wardrobe in the cooler months because they can be worn as standalone pieces, but then they also layer really beautifully underneath knitwear too. And this is a great tip if you're thinking about how you can really add on the layers and kind of create that insulating quality against the skin without adding bulk. Something like this is going to do the trick for you really, really well. And you could layer 2 of these over the top if you really, really needed something that was super warm. I personally love, of all of them the most, the COS and Arket 100% merino ones. I've had mine for many years and they have just survived the wash and wear and tear so unbelievably well. I've not had any threads come loose, not gotten a single hole, and I wear them every single week. So they truly are kind of one of my most worn staples in my entire wardrobe. Another one that's less expensive but feels actually more luxurious to wear are the Uniqlo Cashmere Blended Heat Tech. This is a recent innovation. It launched as part of the Clear Weight Color Collection and it has, I think it's just 5% cashmere, but it adds this really beautiful touch to the hand, so soft and silky. They feel really lovely to wear. They kind of have the same opacity level as the COS and Arket ones, but I would say they feel a little bit more delicate and they're maybe ever so slightly thinner. And I would size down on those. But both are great and serious heroes in my wardrobe, and I would be happy to kind of spend on one that's even more expensive than this, knowing what a workhorse it is in my wardrobe. I feel like I've been highlighting a few of the same favorites recently, and it's because there is a reason why they are so good. And I think a good belt is another piece that you really shouldn't overlook. At least having one good quality one in your winter wardrobe. And there are a few reasons why I love a belt. 1, it helps to define the waist. 2, it can break up an outfit. And 3, it can add visual interest. So it can add tactile quality and dimension. So I actually have 3 different belts here, all of which are really, really beautiful, really well made, and ones that I would not hesitate to recommend to you. So the first one is very, very textured. This is from my favorite belt brand, Anderson's, and you'll know how much I adore these belts. I have it in black as well, and I really wouldn't mind getting another one, though I think the price has gone up ever so slightly. I love the way that these have worn, and over the years the black version has been one of my most asked about items. Then I have this beautiful snake print design from L'Agence, and I love this because it has some great texture to it and also a really interesting statement buckle belt. Probably the only thing I would change is I really prefer when you have a regular buckle, but to me this is part of what adds that impact to the outfit. It's really flexible leather as well, so really, really well made, but it also has that tactile quality to it, both visually and on the hand too. The final one I have is from LILYSILK. So again, another accessory that they've branched out into, and if you're looking for a plain belt, their leather belts are phenomenal. They're so, so stunning. A really beautiful smooth leather and a very kind of vibrant yellow gold buckle, which has that roundness to it. So it has a bit of a softness when added to an outfit. Honestly, I don't think you can go wrong. And you really only need 1 or 2 good ones. Or if you're someone who loves to play around with style, maybe you add in a few more that give you variation. So think about buckle color. Is it going to go with your bag as well? That's a really important tip. And I also like to think about where we are wearing it. Are we wearing it high on the waist, or are we wearing it more with things that are going to be lower on the hip? Because that is going to determine what size you need. Or if you want to do both, you need to get some sort of a belt press so that you can add a couple of additional holes to your belt. Either that or go to a cobbler. My next winter essential that I will happily splurge on is a good pair of wool trousers. And I know what you're thinking, Jamie, don't you often wear poly blend pants? The answer is yes, but I always feel nicer when I'm in my 100% wool trousers than I am when I'm wearing a synthetic blend. And I think there's a bit of a misconception that wool trousers are often dry clean only. You can launder these in your machine at home just on a hand wash setting and they come out looking like new. They usually just need a good steam or an iron afterwards. So I thought I would share with you a few pairs from my wardrobe, which are all really lovely to wear. The first ones being these here from Marl, which is a New Zealand brand. These are their Alicia pants, and they just have a simple elasticated waist, which is really comfortable and is one of the reasons why I'm so drawn to them. Plus they have this interesting twisted seam cut on the bias. So they have this drape, which is incredibly flattering against the body, and they're one of my most complimented pants of all of the trousers that I own. Just a really stunning piece to wear, and they bring these out every single season in different fabrications. So safe to say I'll be buying them in more of a summer weight fabric at some point, but these ones here were probably one of my favorite things to wear in the winter time. I do have a pair from LILYSILK, which are a wool and mulberry silk blend. These are really hefty and thick. They have that lovely twill texture to them and the single pleat at the front. They're more of a wider leg design, so they give you this beautiful shape, and the fact that the fabric actually has a bit of structure to it, I think is a boon too, because it really allows the pants to have a bit more presence. And I do find these run a little bit on the longer side. I might actually get my ones taken up a little bit, but a really, really stunning trouser. And I would say they do run a little bit on the large side, so I did size down. I've got them in a US 2. And then the final pair that I wanted to share are from Facade Pattern, which if you were to ask me where should I go and buy pants from for a great pair of pants that also has interesting silhouettes, this is going to be the brand I recommend. It's a South Korean brand, and probably the easiest way to access it would be to shop it from W Concept. These ones are 100% wool. It's their timeless style, and they have the single pleat down the front. Really lightweight kind of a wool that has a stunning sense of grace when you are walking around in them. I really, really love these. And yeah, again, they're things that you can put in the washing machine. I've never regretted spending that money on these pants. They're things that to me are always just such a joy to wear. The final thing I think is worth spending a little bit more money on is a really solid pair of boots. And I don't mean going out and buying a designer pair, but more so buying a pair that are well made and that you are going to be able to look after, take to the cobbler, get resoled, get fixed up, polished over the years so they last you more than one season. And look, here's the secret with shoes. As someone who really, really loves shoes, we quite often tend to reach for the same pairs on repeat. So it should be a style that's going to work with all of your trousers, skirts, dresses, bottoms, or at least most of the ones that you wear on a really frequent basis. And think about it from this perspective of wearing them until you absolutely cannot wear them anymore, because our tastes do change over the years, especially our taste in shoes. And I can see this in myself as well and the types of silhouettes I reach for. There are consistencies and commonalities, but also there are major differences as well. And if you want to make sure that you're getting the most out of your wardrobe, reducing and really kind of limiting so that you can love and cherish what you have is a great way to do it. Anyway, there's a few little things I like to look out for. So one is generously cut across the foot. We like something that has a little bit of give to it, and then also a really nice low block heel. I have another pair here from Tibby which have a pointed toe, and these ones kind of act as that really fashion forward moment in my wardrobe, especially with the patent finish. If it happens to not be that cold where you live, then maybe you are looking at buying just a nice pair of leather shoes in general. So it could be a loafer if your style leans a little bit more masculine, or if you want to bring that friction in, or maybe it's a really pretty little ballerina. I love these ones from Margot as they do a wide version as well. So a good brand for those who are looking for wide feet friendly options. Basically, I like a little bit of lift, but nothing too high, because you want to be able to walk around in it all day and then not want to tear your shoes off by the time you get home. So those are the 7 winter essentials that I think are worth the splurge, that you will never regret spending a little bit of extra money on. I'd love to know if you agree or if there's anything you'll add. There's definitely a lot of staples that I think we can save on. So things like denim in particular, the high street do it so well, and I will share my favorite H&M ones in the description box. Uniqlo do a great jean. I also think when it comes to kind of things like shirts, we can always save there as well, as you're not going to notice a huge discrepancy in terms of the quality or perceived quality between a $40 shirt and then a $200 shirt if it's made from cotton poplin or a really nice textured cotton. I'll wrap things up here, but that gives you a little bit of a peek at some of my seasonal favorites, along with my curated picks from LILYSILK from their knitwear collection, which are just stunning. I will have everything that I shared linked down in the description box below in case you would like to go and have a look at anything that I mentioned. Thank you so much for spending some of your day with me. I hope you're keeping cozy and warm. If you're new and you would like to see more videos like this, I share a lot of brand reviews, style advice, and how to remix your wardrobe. I hope you have the most beautiful week ahead, and I will see you next time with a brand new video. See you soon. Bye.